I mean, it was really the quality of your writing, which I have described to many people as darkly beautiful. Do you?
I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a darkness to it, but not in a. It's there's a lot of lament for, I think, where the world is now in your writing. A lot of that, the feeling I get, just lament about modernity, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. I'll give you an example of this. So my wife and I were looking at an old book last night of American folk songs, right? Um, 100 or so of the most popular and most beloved American folk songs from the founding of the country to the time, which was 1964, I believe, when the book was published. And the foreword to the book says that these songs have entered the American consciousness and will always be sung, will always be beloved, right? These are songs that, well, not everybody will know every one of them, but every American will know most of them. And everybody will have had the memory of singing them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That was 1964. That's all gone.
Hmm.
It doesn't exist anymore. That's gone. And I can't pretend that I don't know that that's gone, right?
Right. Right.
I know that it's gone.
Hmm.
I also know that that is a peculiar thing, right? So if you go to any culture, anywhere in the world, any time in the world, at any stage of technological development, doesn't matter, you will find people singing songs that their fathers and their grandfathers and their grandmothers sang, songs that get passed down from one generation to the next. Sometimes they get passed down for so long that the language of the song is no longer the ordinary language of the people speaking day to day, right?
Hmm.
And yet they love this. This happened with Homer. This happened with the Anglo-Saxon songs, with Celtic songs, Irish, right? This is a normal thing for mankind. And it's called culture. And we don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've been writing about that for a long time now. I found out, though, by the way, I found out that I wasn't. This is not original to me to say that the West was not changing its culture from a higher one to a lower one, or a more fruitful one to a less fruitful one, but was losing the very thing itself, culture itself.
Yeah.
That was said already in the 1940s by Joseph Ratzinger, Pope Benedict XVI's teacher, Romano Guardini. Right. And it was said also by one of my favorite authors, the Catholic existentialist Gabriel Marcel.
Hmm.
They were already saying this. They were already drawing a distinction between human beings in culture and what Marcel coined the term, I believe, mass man.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe we too are united on that, right? That is not a good thing. To not have a culture and to be a creature of the masses and mass phenomena, right?
When you say there's no culture, do you mean that there's no common culture?
No, I think I mean something even more dreadful than that. But it would be one thing if there was no common culture, but the subgroups within your empire or nation had their cultures. There's something like that characterized the Roman Empire, right? There was an overarching Greco-Roman law, Greco-Roman culture, but also the subgroups within Roman Empire. The Romans generally left you alone. If you paid your taxes and you didn't commit crimes, the Romans left you alone. And so you had your original languages, you had your original religions, your songs and so forth, right? Perhaps something like that also characterized the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, though maybe they had much more shared culture than what I just said might lead people on to believe. But I don't think right now that the groups in America have the thing itself, right? So if you go to, let's say you go to an African American enclave in a city, major city, will they be in that place? will they be singing the songs that their grandparents and great grandparents sang?
Okay.
And the answer is almost certainly no.
Right.
Will they be reading the poetry
Okay.
that their grandparents read? And the answer is almost certainly no.
Okay.
They'll be watching the same damn television and listening to the same songs, the same sort of songs, whatever it is, mass produced, right? With not much distinction from one to the other, okay? That everybody else is listening to. There's not that much there.
Yeah.
And this is a new thing for human beings. I don't think it's a good thing.
So you mean there's no connection to the past or knowledge of the past or interest in the past?
Right. And see, this is the way human beings are interesting creatures, right? We're not like dogs in this sense, okay? We remember, my dog Jasper remembers, but we recall, okay? That is, we deliberately remember. Jasper remembers, but he doesn't make memorials. But we do that, right? And we know that we do that. And that conditions our actions in the present. And we look forward to when people who come after us will look back upon us, we hope with gratitude for doing the things that we do, for building the things that we build, right? So every human being is kind of a trans-temporal creature, embedded in a history going far back. I mean, gracious, if you are a believing Jew, your history goes back to about 1800 BC with Abraham, and you look forward to the immemorial future. You say, well, my children, my grandchildren, to the 10th. To the 20th generation will be doing now what I am doing today. Okay, that I say is normal for human beings. So that it's an extremely powerful case of it. And to lack that, I think is to lack culture. Right? It's to be just sort of positioned in your moment of time and the forces that condition you at that moment. It's like being spiritually amputated.
Yeah.